And we are live. What up, my people? What's going on? What's good? Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome back to EMGM Sports. It's me, your boy Enzo, the realest in the game. It's Monday night boxing, man. Monday night boxing with your boy Enzo, the realest in the game. Tonight, I just want to recap. The weekend boxing. You know, let's just look back at what happened on Saturday. David Benavidez, the Mexican monster, stops the Lion, Anthony Yarde, in the 7th round. Punishment. Total punishment from David Benavidez from round 1 all the way to round 7. Do you know what I mean? He just dominated the whole fight. Devin Haney proving the doubt is wrong, man. Proving the doubt is wrong. He dropped Brian Norman Jr., I think in the 2nd or 3rd round, I believe. Dropped him with our right hand. Many people expected Devin Haney to run around the ring and not want to engage, but he was there. For me, I've actually heard some criticism for Devin Haney online. You know, people saying he was running, he was scared to engage. No, he wasn't. Man, he was dishing out punishment, man. His jab was sharp. I thought Devin Haney fought really well. Really well. Excuse me. Some notes. He fought really well against Abdullah Mason. It was a dogfight. He turned into a dogfight, man. Yeah, Abdullah Mason got the dub. He got the win. A wider scorecard, actually, from the judges, but some of them rounds, man, they were tough, man. Sam Noakes was landing. He was landing some big shots. Yeah, we're going to talk about all of that. I'm just going to check out any other boxing news. Let me check this. Late start today, I was watching my favorite football team, Manchester United. Manchester United, you know how they piss me off, man. Manchester, if you watch football, I don't know, is there any football fans in the building, but I support Manchester United, and we are so shit, man. We're playing against Everton at home tonight, and they go down to 10 men after 17 minutes, and we still manage to stink the place out. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, we are absolutely finished, man. If you got any questions, just drop your questions down, man. I'm going to wait for a few more people to join. It always takes a while for people to join the live, man. I don't know. I put a link out in the description. I'm sorry, no, I put a link out in the community post, but I think the YouTube community post is pretty much useless, man. How many people actually check it out? Hold on, let me fix this. One sec. Let me just fix this. Let me move this here. Let me just increase that. That's better. Yo, Jace Jordan. 1910. What's going on, bro? What's going on? You good? What's going on, man? Welcome to EMGM Sports. Hope you're good, brother. Hope you're good. What are you saying, though? What did you think about the weekend boxing? What was your take on the weekend boxing, man? What was your predictions? Because for me, I think I got every single one of my predictions wrong at the weekend. I got the Yarde prediction wrong. You know, I predicted Anthony Yarde to knock out David Benavidez in the 8th round. I was completely wrong. I predicted Brian Norman Jr. to knock out Devin Haney. I was completely wrong. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it was a terrible, it wasn't a good weekend for me. Thank God, yeah, for me, I'm not a betting man. Yeah, I'm not a betting man because if I was a betting man, I would have lost a lot of money. But you know what? To be fair, yeah, my Anthony Yarde prediction was more based on loyalty, rather than tactical analysis. Because Anthony Yarde, we come from the same area in Newham, Stratford. So I thought, you know what? Let me back the guy that I knew growing up as a kid. So it was more. I went more with my heart with Anthony Yarde rather than my head. My head was telling me, yo, come on, bro. This is David Benavidez, man. This is David Benavidez. He's gonna do damage to your boy Yarde, But obviously, my heart, emotions, I was thinking, nah, come on. We need Anthony Yarde to bring that belt back home to Newham, Stratford in London. It will mean so much to the kids. There's been a lot of problems in Newham, you know what I mean? The last few years, there's a lot of crime, a lot of kids taking the wrong paths. So when you go someone like Anthony Yarde who grew up in the area, if they win a title, yeah, and they bring it back to the area, like, can you imagine, like, that would inspire so many people, So that was my thinking behind it, you know what I mean? But yeah, man. Oh well, I was wrong. Ooh, yeah, this too big. Hold on, let me sort out this. Let me fix this chat there. That's way too big. All right, let's make it smaller. That's it. Jace, Jordan, what are you saying? I honestly missed watching boxing on the weekend, so I'm going to watch them highlights tonight, New Zealand time. Okay. Yeah, listen. Jace, the boxing was good. The boxing was good, man. I really enjoyed it. The boxing was good, man. I therefore recommend go watch them. Some entertaining fights. Some people are saying that the Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. was boring. Like, I didn't find it boring. Did you? Like, if you find that fight boring, let me know. I didn't find that boring at all, to be honest. I did not find that boring at all. I think Devin Haney fought very smart. He fought a very smart fight. Do you know what I mean? Used the jab beautifully, you know what I mean? Sharp jab. He was popping that jab, man. And Brian Norman Jr. just couldn't cope with it. He couldn't cope with it, So Haney's fight wasn't boring. Rodriguez versus Martinez was another good fight. Bam Rodriguez, yeah, man. Again, another one. He boxed beautifully. But for me, fight of the night for me was Abdullah Mason versus Sam Noakes. That was fight of the night, man. Do you know what I mean? Both guys going at it. Both guys were cut. Both guys were bleeding. Yes, Abdullah Mason won by unanimous decision. But I feel some of them rounds, man, were close, man. And Sam Noakes, at the start, he was kind of struggling with that southpaw stance, but then he started finding that right hand. That right hand started landing flash on the head of Abdullah Mason. For me personally, Abdullah Mason still got a lot of learning to do. He's a very talented fighter. He's got great skills. Like me, I'm an amateur boxing coach here, and I'm learning, innit? I'm a student of the game. Like, I'm learning. And every time I watch Abdullah Mason, he always leaves himself vulnerable, especially when he's on the back foot. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes he does tend to move in straight lines, and his head is up, and he gets lined up with the right hand. That's what Sam Noakes was doing. Sam Noakes kept catching him with the right hand. Do you know what I mean? So Abdullah Mason, yeah, his coaches, they're gonna have to work on that head movement. They have to work on him fighting on the back foot. Do you know what I mean? Therefore, work on that. On him, doing the pivot, the whole pivot thing. He has to get better at that as well. Do you know what I mean? Better defense on the ropes, man, keeping your hands up. Do you know what I mean? For me, at times, his hands were way too low. Do you know what I mean? Hence why he was getting caught by Sam Noakes. Like, listen, Abdullah Mason, he got away with one day, with Sam Noakes, man. Because Sam Noakes made it a dog fight. And I think that's going to be great learnings for Abdullah Mason. It's great learnings for him because he would have known that he was in a fight. He was in a fight. I think every fighter, every great boxer, yeah, will have a fight like that. We'll have one of those nights where you go back in the change room, you're like, oof, yeah, I got away with one there. Do you know what I mean? Like, that could have went left. I remember Floyd Mayweather, he went at it with Castillo. The first fight. That was a nightmare for Mayweather. And a lot of people said Castillo won that fight. And, Mayweather came back in a rematch and he learned, he made adjustments and obviously won easily. But the first fight, Mayweather was caught off guard, So, yeah. That Abdullah Mason got away with one there, man. Definitely got away with one there. Let's check out what other boxing news we got. Before I get into it, I'm only going to be here for about an hour. But what other boxing news are there? Let's go. I always go to the Ring magazine, for my news, for my boxing news. But I also check out like Twitter and stuff. I go on Twitter, check out Boxing News 24. Shout out to them. That's where I get a lot of my news, my boxing news from as well. Or even like sometimes Instagram and that. But what's the Ring magazine saying here? Oh yeah, Pitbull versus Roach coming up. When's that fight? Saturday, 6th of December. Hold on. Saturday, 6th of December. Don't we have Saturday, 6th of December? Don't we have Japataya fighting Saturday, 6th of December as well? Yeah, that's gonna be a funny one, isn't it? That's gonna be a weird one because you got Pitbull versus Roach fighting in the US. Japataya, Taramuana, Justice Haney, that's a big card, Tasman card in the Gold Coast, Australia. I wonder what the times are. I don't really have the time difference on me here, but US and Australia, that's going to be a crazy one because, I want to do a live watch along for both cards. I want to do the Pitbull versus Roach card and I want to do the Japataya card as well. So I'm going to have to look at that and plan it carefully because I want to cover both events. We're coming to the end of the year, so I want to do as much watch-alongs as possible for all the cards, for all the remaining boxing cards because there's a month and a bit left of the year. I want to do more live streams. But let me know in the comments, man. If you got any questions, let me know if you got any questions. I want to answer them. Do you know what I'm trying to do with these lives? Yeah, I want to do is I want to get my subscribers involved. I want to start getting my subscribers involved. I want you to come up here. Let's have a chat. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're comfortable being on the camera, I can send you a link and then you come on the camera and we have a chat. Do you know what I mean? I'll bring different people on. Or I might do, you just phone in, innit? You just phone in and then you ask your questions or you say whatever you want to say and then we take it from there. Do you know what I mean? But that's probably from next week. I know I keep saying it next week, but I really want to do that. I really want my subscribers, or not even my, if you're a subscriber, I want you to have your say because whenever I drop a video, a lot of you subscribers obviously comment on the videos and you give your takes. Like, so it'll be good to have you come up as well and have your say on the boxing. But for now, just comment. Any question that you got, just comment. Also, if you're up here, smash the likes as well. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Let me just look at this news here. What's going on? I'm hearing a Canelo versus Terence Crawford rematch in the summer of 2026. They might be doing a rematch, Terence Crawford versus Canelo. Would you want to see that? Is that a fight that you'd want to see? I think, me personally, I think Crawford is going to take that fight. I think Crawford takes that fight simply because right now Crawford, how old is Crawford now? 37, 38? Or whatever, however old Crawford is. He wants to make the big money now, man. And Canelo is another big payday. And Crawford knows he can hurt Canelo, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like, it kind of hurt him at the end of the first fight. He knows he can outbox him. And he's felt Canelo's power. He doesn't respect it. So Crawford is thinking, you know what? I might as well take the rematch with this guy because I'm going to beat him. Easy money for Crawford. I think that's how Crawford is looking at it. So I think that the rematch is gonna happen. Whoever Canelo can make the actual adjustments to be able to get victory over Crawford, I don't think so, man. I think Canelo is over the hill now, man. It's too slow, man. I don't think he's gonna have the ability to close the distance to get close enough to Crawford to actually hurt him. We saw in the first fight, Crawford took Canelo's best punches, man. He ate them, and he was like, yeah, I'm good. So I think this time, Crawford is thinking, I'm going to go in there, I'm actually going to stop this guy. You know what I mean? Canelo's thinking, Crawford is thinking, I'm gonna hurt this guy. So, yeah, man, let me get started on, let me get started on Anthony Yarde. Let me start. Yeah, I'll start with Anthony Yarde versus David Benavidez. Yeah, Anthony Yarde, man. Yeah, I was very disappointed in the performance from Anthony Yarde, man. His performance just didn't make no goddamn sense, man. I didn't understand the tactics, the game plan. I don't know what the hell they were working on during training camp because we did not see anything at all, man. I'm just going to keep it real from Anthony Yarde. Tunde, the trainer, Anthony Yarde's trainer, he's coming for a lot of criticism as well because people are saying, yo, what the hell was that? What was the game plan? You know, there was no in-fight management. There was no adjustments made. Do you know what I mean? From the first round, Anthony Yarde was on the back foot. From the very first round, he was already on the back foot. Do you know what I mean? How is that possible? How are you on the back foot from the first round, man? Do you know, when I done my fight breakdown, I did say that if Anthony Yarde is going to be successful in this fight, he has to gain respect from Benavidez. That means, yeah, staying in the center of the ring and banging it out, man. Anthony Yarde had to stay in the center of the ring and bang it out. But you know what? He couldn't do that, man. I don't know. I don't know if he was like just... I don't know if it's the size of Benavidez. Or Benavidez was just too imposing in that ring. But from round one, Yarde was just backing up. And I'm like, yo, this is going to go wrong. Do you know what I mean? As soon as I see Anthony Yarde already backing off from round one, I'm like, yo, this is how the fight is going to go. This is how the fight is going to go. Because if Yarde had any chance, is when both fighters were fresh. Is when Yarde, it was in the early rounds, you know what I mean? When they're fresh, that's when you can box. That's when you can take a couple of shots from Benavidez because you're still kind of fresh. But he got on the back foot, pedaling back. That Mayweather shoulder roll defense that Tunde, man. Listen, that shoulder roll is just, man, it's just not going to work with David Benavidez, especially if you're on the ropes, man. If you're on the ropes, that shoulder roll just ain't going to work. And you can see that Benavidez had no respect for Yarde. He was just punching him up, man. Too much volume. Benavidez was too accurate. And I'm going to show you the CompuBox numbers as well, yeah, in a minute. Benavidez was just way too accurate. He wasn't missing punches, man. The jab from Yarde wasn't connecting whatsoever. If you're gonna take on a pressure fighter like Benavidez, you have to try and stop him in his tracks. Do you know what I mean? You need to try and stop him advancing forward, and that means landing a crisp jab. That means being very accurate with your jab because whenever, I call it the danger zone, right? Whenever Benavidez gets inside your danger zone, you land a jab, he's going to think, you pop his head back, he's going to think about coming forward. But Yarde was throwing the jab, but he just wasn't accurate. He wasn't throwing the jab with any conviction. He was like kind of like throwing the jab to show Benavidez that he's throwing the jab, if you get what I mean. Like, there was no conviction behind Yarde's shots. You know, I thought, you know what, Anthony Yarde has got the power. I've seen David Benavidez dropped once or twice by guys that don't punch as hard as Yarde. And I was thinking, come on, Yarde has got power. He can definitely hurt Benavidez. But even when Yarde threw the 1-2, his right hand, there was no conviction behind it. He wasn't throwing the punch to land and hurt Benavidez. Yarde was throwing the punch to just kind of keep Benavidez off him. Do you know what I mean? There wasn't no mean intentions behind Yarde's shot. You know, that was the disappointing thing about it, because we've seen Yarde, we've watched Yarde take on Kovalev, take on Artur Beterbiev, and I would say he was way more competitive in those fights than he was on Saturday night or Saturday morning against David Benavidez, man. Against Artur Beterbiev, when Yarde took on Artur Beterbiev, what, 2 or 3 years ago now? I remember him, he stung Beterbiev. Like, he had success in that fight. Obviously, as the rounds went on, Beterbiev, elite fighter, legend of the game, he was able to go to another gear that Yarde just didn't have. And yeah, you know, he took it there and he stopped Yarde. But Yarde had moments of success in that fight against Benavidez. Sorry, not Benavidez, against Beterbiev. Now, Yarde fighting against Benavidez, he had no, like, let me know in the comments. Was there a moment that Anthony Yarde had any success against David Benavidez in that fight in 7 rounds? No success whatsoever, man. He had no success in any given moment in that fight. There's no moment that I can remember where I can say, yo, Yarde had a really good round there. He will start off well in a round, but then Benavidez would just end stronger. Benavidez would just throw a fury of punches, volume, towards the end of the round, the last 30 seconds. And those will be the eye-catching shots that the judges will remember. Therefore, even though Yarde started good, started the round well, but because he didn't sustain that pressure, he ends up losing the rounds because Benavidez finishes the strongest. You know, so sometimes actually you might start a round slow, but the last thing the judges remember is how you finish the round. If you finish strong, the judge, that might just swing that round and the judges give it to you. But Anthony Yarde, yeah, I gave Anthony Yarde 1 round. Some people didn't give him no round at all. Some people didn't give Anthony Yarde a single round. I gave him 1 round, but yeah, it was just a very strange performance from Anthony Yarde. You know, strange from Tunde, his trainer. And now many people are saying Yarde should leave Tunde. I mean, listen, what's the point? If you're thinking Anthony Yarde should leave Tunde, what's the point? What is the point to go where at this age? He's 34 years of age, yeah? He's had 3 title fights being coached by Tunde. He's not getting an Anthony Yarde, you know, I got love for him. Like I said, we're from the same block, same area. If Yarde was going to leave Tunde, for me, he should have left Tunde. He should have left Tunde 5 years ago. You see, as soon as he lost against Kovalev, yeah, that's when Anthony Yarde should have went his separate way. But he's a loyal guy. You know, I commend him for that, for being loyal. Even though I think it's kind of blind loyalty, to be honest with you, because as a fighter, sometimes you need to be selfish for the sake of your own career. If you want to be great, you know, the great fighters, the elite fighters. I'm not just talking boxing. I'm talking MMA, any combat sports. In fact, F it, in any sport. Like, if you want to be the very best, you need to be with the very best coaches. You know, look at Crawford, Bomac, you know. So many, like, there's other coaches out there I can say, but I'm just using an example of Crawford and Bomac. Do you know what I mean? Bowmag is a great coach. You know, we've seen what he achieved with Terence Crawford. Like Anthony Yarde should have went to another coach who could have really enhanced and sharpened up his skills, because Yarde is not a bad fighter, man. He's not a bad fighter. He's not an elite fighter. He's not a world-class elite boxer, but he's got strong, solid fundamentals. He can box. He can box. You know, he does. There's some things that I like that I see Yarde doing that are really good. But he could have went to the next level if he separated and went a different path from Tunde like 5 years ago. You know, so him staying with Tunde, his skills haven't really progressed at all. Like he hasn't really improved. In fact, he's regressed, isn't it? If you look at his first title fight against Kovalev to his last title fight against David Benavidez, like he's regressed. Like his skill level's regressed. Even in between that, you know, I think he lost against Lyndon Arthur. Then he has some stinkers in between that against, you know, low tier fighters. He had a couple of stinkers, Anthony Yarde, you know. Then he jumped straight into a title fight against David Benavidez, who's the Mexican monster. And that's another criticism that I'm seeing going around that a lot of people are talking about, boxing fans are talking about, experts are talking about. They're saying that Anthony Yarde, he goes from fighting mid-tier fighters, low-tier fighters, then he get a title fight. Like, there's nothing in the middle. Like, there's nothing in between. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he goes from very low-skill fighters, he shoots up and he fights for a title shot. Like, people are saying that, yo, that's a big mistake because you're not really preparing yourself for the world-class elite fighters. And that, you know what? That actually made sense. That actually made sense. Do you know what I mean? That actually makes sense. You know what? Let's look at Anthony Yarde, yeah. Let's look at Anthony Yarde. Let's see. Let me pull up his box rec. Let's actually see his opponents. By the way, if you're in the building, smash the likes. If you got any question at all, just put on the drop your questions in the comments and I want to answer them. Let me know what was your favorite fight at the weekend. Let me know. Okay, let me flip my screen. Okay, so Anthony Yarde, a lot of people are saying that he fights mid-tier fighters and then he moves on, he gets a title shot. So, he lost against David Benavidez, yeah? His fight before David Benavidez was Lyndon Arthur. Yeah, now Lyndon Arthur, listen, I got love for Lyndon Arthur. You know what I mean? Lyndon Arthur, you know, he's done well, man. Like his last fight, Lyndon Arthur's last fight, he won, didn't he? I forgot who Lyndon Arthur fought. But yeah, Lyndon Arthur had a great performance in his last fight. But is Lyndon Arthur an elite fighter? Is he world-class fighter? No. British level. With all due respect, Lyndon Arthur is British level. That's the guy. So, Anthony Yarde, for his preparation to fight David Benavidez, was Lyndon Arthur, who he already knocked out. Yeah? And before that, he fought in October 2024, he fought against Ralph Velkins. Yeah, he fought against Ralph Velkins. Again, Ralph Velkins, has anybody actually heard of him? Do you know what I mean? Ralph Velkins is like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know, man. But even that fight, I remember that was a tough fight for Yarde. He struggled in that fight. He got the win, but he was getting hit a lot. You know, you can give him maybe like a little leeway, a little get away with it because like he was out of the ring for a while. So you can say ring rust. Before that, he fought Marco Nikolic. Then he fought George Silva. Do you know what I mean? Before George Silva was the Artur Beterbiev. But if you look at the fighters that he fights, yeah, in between fighting for a title, look at the names. Like these are not world-class fighters. These are not world-class fighters for Anthony Yarde. You know? Before he fights Artur Beterbiev, he fights Lyndon Arthur. That's the fight that he lost in against. Yeah, he won that. But yeah, before that, a couple fights before that, he lost against Lyndon Arthur, Alex Ferran, Dex Spellman. Like, look at some of the opponents that Anthony Yarde has fought. So his preparations for title fights are not the best. So Anthony Yarde, before he fights for a title, his preparations are not the best, because look at the level of opponents look at the level of the caliber of fighters that he's fighting. You know, not good enough. So when people say, yo, Anthony Yarde fights mediocre fighters, mid-tier, low-tier fighters before he fights for a title, they're right. Because I'm just showing you here right now, as you can see when I'm showing my screen, these are the names that Anthony Yarde has fought before fighting for a title. George Silva, Marko Nikolic, Ralph Velkins, Lyndon Arthur. Name me a world-class fighter that he's fought there. Name me a world-class fighter. There's no world-class fighter that Anthony Yarde has faced in preparation for a title fight. There's absolutely no world-class fighters. So when I look at that, yeah, when I look at his box rec, when I look at Anthony Yarde's record, it's not surprising anymore that when he does face an elite fighter, when he does come up against a champion, he comes up short. Because he's just not prepared for it. Listen, there have been fighters in the past that haven't faced any big names, any high caliber opponent or positions before the title fights, and they're going and win, but there's not many. There is not many of them around, I tell you now. So Anthony Yarde, we can see that, man. We can see that his preparations before title fights are really poor. You know, he faces low caliber opposition, and then he jumps into a title fight, and then he comes up short. You know, and it shows because his fight before David Benavidez was Lyndon Arthur. The same Lyndon Arthur who went up against Dimitri Bivol and got absolutely pissed up, man. Absolutely pissed up. And I like Lyndon Arthur. Trust me, I like Lyndon Arthur. I like Lyndon Arthur, man. I really like Lyndon Arthur. He's a cool guy, but yeah, Anthony Yarde. What should Anthony Yarde do now, my people? Let me know in the comments, man. By the way, if you're in the building, smash the likes. Smash the likes. It helps with the algorithm and all that. If you're new to the channel, subscribe as well. But what do you guys think Anthony Yarde should do? What do you think Anthony Yarde should do? I don't think he's going to retire. I'm seeing on social media a lot of people saying, yo, Anthony Yarde should retire. Anthony Yarde should retire. I don't think he's going to retire, man. Listen, he got that Saudi money. He got the Saudi bag, which is good. I hope he's good with his finances. I hope he's got some people around him that will help him invest that money well. But I don't think he's going to retire, not yet. I think Anthony Yarde will probably fight Joshua Buatsi next. That's what I said in my post-fight reaction. I said Yarde will fight against Joshua Buatsi. But the only thing is, the Joshua Buatsi fight hasn't got that same clout around it. Do you know what I mean? Like, the appetite from the fans is not really there for that Joshua Buatsi fight, because Joshua Buatsi himself is on the decline. His last performance against Zach Parker, many of us believed that he lost that fight. I was doing a live watch along for that fight. I was scoring the fight. And I had Zach Parker winning by 2 rounds. Some people had Zach Parker winning by 6 rounds. You know, and that was a terrible performance from Joshua Buatsi. So I don't think the fans want to see that fight. If you told me about that fight 5 years ago, yeah, big fight in the UK. Both guys would have made good money. They could have had a fight at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Now, I don't even think they fill up the O2 Arena. The O2 Arena is what, 20,000? Joshua Buatsi, Anthony Yarde, 20,000. Right now, I don't think so, because their stock is gone low. The stock has dropped so much. It's unbelievable, man. But that's the only fight that I can see for Anthony Yarde, unless he has another fight with Lyndon Arthur, because Lyndon Arthur has a European title. Lyndon Arthur holds a European title. But that might be a belt that Anthony Yarde might target because world level, he can't win. He can't win a world title. So why not try and go and get a European title from Lyndon Arthur, who he's already beaten twice? Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's either fight Lyndon Arthur again or fight Joshua Boati, or even, there's another name I'm forgetting that Anthony Yarde. Robert Whittaker. You know, Robert Whittaker, that could be a fight. That's a good potential fight in about a year's time. Do you know what I mean? Like, that could be a good prep. You know, they could use Anthony Yarde. I'm sorry to say this, but they could, if I'm Robert Whittaker's camp, if I'm in his team, I'm like, yo, let's give you another year. Anthony Yarde is in decline right now anyway. Let's give him another year. Let him proper get, you know what I mean, towards the end of his career when he's 35 and stuff. And then we'll fight him. Because Anthony Yarde, whatever we say right now, Anthony Yarde is a big name in boxing. Yeah, he's a big name, especially here in the UK. He's a big name. He always gets title shots. So Robert Whittaker getting that name on his resume, a win against Anthony Yarde, that will propel him to the next level before he goes to world level to fight for world title. So that's a fight that Robert Whittaker and his team should target, Anthony Yarde, you know. And for Anthony Yarde, that'll be a way for him to kind of shut the doubters up as well, because Anthony Yarde could say to himself, you know what? These people really think that Robert Whittaker can beat me. Okay, bro, he goes and beats Robert Whittaker, who's an Olympics. He won the Olympic silver medal, innit? I think he did, innit? In Tokyo. I think he won the silver medal at the Olympics. Anthony Yarde goes and beat him. It's like, you know, you see, this is the kid that you guys are hyping about. I beat him. So again, that could propel Anthony Yarde. You know, he could climb back up and potentially get another title fight. You know, with a great performance against a Robert Whittaker. But listen, let me read some of your comments before I carry on. Shout out to everyone that's in the building. I really appreciate you. Everyone that's in the building, thank you so much for coming through. I like doing live streams because we can interact. Do you know what I mean? Like, directly in real time, you know? Instead of when I just record a video and upload it. Live streams, you really get to see your loyal subscribers who really follow you. There's not many of us yet, you know what I mean? There's not many people that join the live stream yet, but obviously we're going to keep building. Every Monday I'm here. Normally 9 p.m., 9:30 we're here. I just done 10 p.m. because I was watching a football match, but Monday nights, 9 p.m., find me here. Tell everyone about it. Let me read some questions. After Dylan. Yo, Dylan, what up? Salute, brother. Dylan is actually, shout out to Dylan. He's one of the, he's actually one of the members that's always here. Do you know what I mean? Like, I see you a lot in most, I do see you in the, on the watch alongs a lot, man. So shout out to you, man. Shout out to you, bro. I see you a lot. What are you saying, though? He's done really well against world-class fighters with minimum background, amateur experience. Just imagine if he started earlier, could have been the best. What are you talking about? You talking about Anthony Yarde? I think you're talking about Anthony Yarde. Yeah, no, listen. Anthony Yarde is done well, man. You know what I mean? He's done well, man. He's done really well in boxing. For me, he's done fantastic. He's done fantastically well. He's made a lot of money. He's had title fights. There's a lot of talented fighters that have never had a title fight. A lot of talented boxers that never had a title fight. Do you know what I mean? They went through the amateurs, England boxing, you know what I mean? Everything, like, they went to the Olympics but never had a title fight. So, yeah, you got to shout out to Anthony Yarde, man. You know what I mean? He's achieved a lot. I'm proud of him. As someone that's from Stratford, Newham, grew up in the same area as him, I'm really proud of him and what he's achieved. You know, but when I'm doing fight breakdowns, when I'm giving my reviews or fight reactions, I have to be honest. You know what I mean? I have to be honest, you know? So sometimes fighters can take it personal. I hope they don't take it personal. I just have to be honest, Hold on. Why does the thing disappeared from my screen then? One sec, my people. One sec. But yeah, Avatar, what you're saying, Dylan, what you're saying is, I agree with you. I really do agree with you. Trust me, man. You're right. Anthony Yarde has achieved a lot. He's done well. He's made a lot of money. The thing is, I feel he could have done better with a different coach. What do you guys think? I think he could achieve way more with a different coach. That's just my opinion, man. I really believe he could have done. He could. You know what? Yeah. When Anthony Yarde fought Sergey Kovalev in Russia, let me just look. Let me just look at. Let's check. When did he fight? When did Yarde fight Sergey Kovalev? Let me check that. Kovalev. So Anthony Yarde fought Sergey Kovalev back in, what's that? August, the 24th of August, 2019. That's when he fought Kovalev, yeah? Kovalev was probably like 38 or... Kovalev was basically at the end of his career. I remember that well because the next fight for Kovalev, he fought against Canelo and he got knocked out. Yeah, Canelo knocked him out. So that tells me Sergey was towards the end of his career. That's when Sergey Kovalev already had those defeats against Andre Ward. Yeah, so Andre Ward battered him up already, softened him up a bit. And I just think, yeah, there were moments in that fight, I think maybe like the 8th round, where Anthony Yarde really put the pressure on Kovalev. He nearly had Kovalev out of there. I just believe that with a better coach, with a more experienced coach in his corner, I believe they would have gave him the right tactics. They would have been able to manage that fight so that he can go back out and stop Sergey Kovalev. Because Sergey Kovalev was there to be gotten at. He was in trouble. He was old. His legs were gone. But because of that inexperience from Yarde and his coach, they lost that fight. I think Yarde got stopped in the 10th round or something. Can you imagine had a more experienced coach? It would have been, you know what I mean? I think he could have won that fight, you know? But, yeah. And the thing is, they didn't learn from the experience. After that defeat, they lost 2 more title fights. It's like they didn't really learn from the experience from the Kovalev defeat. So, yeah, Yarde, yeah, let's look at his record, yeah? So, yeah, Yarde, in terms of his amateur, like in the amateurs, he only had one fight in the amateurs. Anthony Yarde. One amateur fight, lasted 2 rounds and he knocked the guy out anyway. Yeah. So Dylan, you're right. For someone with only one amateur fight, he did all right. He did good. He probably had a couple of unlicensed fights in there as well. Do you know what I mean? But he had one amateur fight. He's done well. Do you know what I mean? He's done really well. Now as a pro, 27, what has he had? 31 bouts. He's lost 4. 4 of them, 3, he's been knocked out 3 times and he's been stopped. All the stoppages have come in title fights. So it just shows you whenever Yarde steps up, he gets brought back down by the elite world-class fighters. Yeah, man. Crazy, man. But yeah, listen, I got love for Yarde, man. I got love for Yarde. I want the best for him. Like I said, we grew up on the same block. We're both from Stratford, Newham. Tough place, one of the most toughest areas in London. Do you know what I mean? Call it whatever you want, the ghetto, whatever. We call it the ends. You know what I mean? That's the London slang, the ends. It means the area. Do you know what I mean? The neighborhood, the ends. That's where Yarde is from. So, and we come from the same place. So, shout out to Yarde. Shout out to Yarde, man. That's my guy. I haven't seen him for a while, for a couple of years, but shout out to Yarde, man. He's a cool guy. He's a cool guy, man. Well, so what's the next question here? Arian 7379. Welcome to the live stream, brother. How you doing? How you doing, Arian? You good? I think I've seen you a few times. I've seen you a few times in a couple of lives as well. Thank you for coming through and showing support, yeah? What are you saying to me? Anthony Joshua should retire if he loses to Jake Paul. Nah, he's not going to lose to Jake Paul, man. I ain't having it. Sorry, man. I ain't having it, man. I ain't having it. I'm just not having it. I'm not having it. If Anthony like the rules for the fight, what is a real boxing fight, right? It's a professional boxing fight. So all the rules are there. I think the only rule is Anthony Joshua can't come in more than 245 pounds or something. That's the only rule I see in there. But apart from that, it's real boxing, mate. You know what I mean? If Anthony Joshua was to lose to Jake Paul, yeah, that means he took a dive. That is the only, there's no, bruv. Listen, the same Jake Paul that went life and death with Mike Tyson, who was 60 years old and only had one knee. He's trying to tell me he's gonna knock out, he's gonna defeat a guy in Joshua who's 36. It's not like he's old. It's not like Joshua's old and he's been retired for like 5 years. Joshua's 36. He's still very active. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't say Joshua's in his prime, but it's not like Joshua's towards the end and he's completely done. Joshua's still got that power. He's still very athletic. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know how Jake Paul beats him, bruv. It's not happening. It's not happening. Like I said, if Joshua was to lose to Jake Paul, then it's a bloody setup. Do you know what I mean? He's taking a dive. And I don't think Joshua's the type of guy that will ruin his legacy just to bloody please Jake Paul, man. Like, he's not going to do that. He's not worth it. I think Joshua's thinking, you know, I'm going to get 80 million anyway. I heard that's what Joshua's getting. He's going to get 80 million. Joshua's going to take the 80 million. He's like, you know what? I'm going to knock this kid the F out. Who doesn't want to see Jake Paul get knocked the F out and just shut his mouth? I do. I want to see Jake Paul get knocked the F out and just shut his mouth. You know what I mean? But, yeah. Arian, trust me. Jake Paul is not beating Anthony Joshua, man. It's not happening. Eldon, Joe Gaming. What up, Eldon, Joe Gaming? You're always around. I always see you around, man. That's good. I like you too. You're always coming to all the watch-alongs. Hey, thank you so much, man, to the hardcore subscribers, the hardcore fans, you know what I mean, the viewers of EMGM Sports, you know, the hardcore ones who support Enzo, the realest in the game. I really appreciate you. Do you know what I mean? All your contributions are welcome. You know what I mean? I really appreciate you. And Eldon, I believe that's how you pronounce your name. Eldon, Joe Gaming. Yeah, you're always here, man. Do you know what I mean? Shout out to you. Big shout out to you, bro. Do you know what I mean? You're always here. I really appreciate you, man. Yeah. What's up? Welcome. What are you saying to me? Is Yarde the best UK light heavy? Nah, I don't think so, man. Don't forget, man, Callum Smith is from the UK. Do you know what I mean? People forget Callum Smith is from the UK. Like, is Yarde better than Callum Smith? I don't think so, bro. Do you know what I mean? We just saw Callum Smith back in, was it February this year? We saw him against Joshua Boati, and we saw what Callum Smith did to Joshua Boati, right? So, yeah, Callum Smith is levels above Anthony Yarde. So, yeah, now Anthony Yarde is not the best light heavy in the UK, but Anthony Yarde is probably top 5. Do you know what I mean? It could be top 5. But anyway, let me actually, that's a very, very interesting, very good question, actually. Let's check this out. Let's look at the light heavyweights, the British light heavies. Bear with me, my people. Bear with me. I think Eldon, that's a great question. Yeah, but my answer is no. Anthony Yarde is not the best light heavy in the UK. But I want to pull out the list of the best light heavies in the UK. Let me just say top 10 light heavyweights in light heavyweights in the UK. You got Lyndon Arthur and all them in there as well in the UK. in the UK. So in the UK. Hold on, I'm just trying to find it. Yeah, so you got Callum Smith, Joshua Boati, Anthony Yarde, Nathan Cleverly. Is Nathan Cleverly still boxing? Excuse me. Hold on. Let me just type in British light heavyweight boxes. All right. Man, I can't really find the list, but yeah, there's some. You got Joshua Boati there, Dan Aziz, Robert Whittaker, Liam Cameron. I mean, there's not a great deal of talent there, really, man. If you look at it, Callum Smith is the standout name who's been a champion, innit? Apart from Callum Smith, none of them guys have been champions. Or is he Nathan Cleverly? He held the WBO title. Yeah, Nathan Cleverly, yeah, did, yeah. Nathan Cleverly held the WBO title from 2011 to 2013. So yeah, Nathan Cleverly was a world champion. So yeah, there's some names here. Callum Smith, yeah. But it's not a great list, my people. I ain't gonna lie, man. The UK hasn't really got great light heavies, you know. I'm gonna be honest. It's not looking good, mate. I mean, the most outstanding name right now for me, like a world-class fighter, is Callum Smith. He's the only outstanding name out there that I can say like he's a world-class boxer, you know? That's the only one. But good question, Eldon, man. Ilden or Elden. It's Ilden. I'm going to say Ilden. I'm going to say Elden. Yarde should fight Boati, Callum Smith, and the other Brits. Now, the thing is, yeah, I think I said this at the start of the stream, yeah. Yarde won't fight Callum Smith. Innit? Callum Smith has got other ambitions. Callum Smith, I believe, is above. Callum Smith is here, and then there's a little gap, and then you got the rest of them, innit? I feel like when Callum Smith fought against Boati, he showed levels. He showed that Callum Smith is in that world level. That Yarde and Boati, they're not at that level, innit? So I would say the most likely fight for Anthony Yarde is gonna be Boati or another fight with Lyndon Arthur. I'm telling you right now, because Lyndon Arthur has a European title. You know? He does. Lyndon Arthur has a European title. Let me check. Lyndon Arthur. I'm sure his last fight, he won a European title. Yeah, let me just show you what I'm looking at. Let me flip my screen. Yeah, so Lyndon Arthur. So yeah, Lyndon Arthur's last fight was against Bradley Rea. He won the EBU European Light Heavy. That's the title that Lyndon Arthur won, yeah? So that's something for, you know, if Anthony, I'm not sure I don't know if there's a rematch between Bradley Rea and Lyndon Arthur, but that's a title that Anthony Yarde would probably be looking at. You know, Lyndon Arthur has a title. He has a European title. He actually means something. You know, if I'm Anthony Yarde and his team, I'm like, yo, let's go take that off Lyndon Arthur. But you know what, yeah? Lindenhofer's last performance against Bradley Rea, it was a great performance. I don't know if Anthony Yarde can beat Lindenhofer, if they fight again for the fourth time. That's going to be a tough fight for Anthony Yarde, especially because of the damage that Anthony Yarde took against David Benavidez. It's not like Anthony Yarde got knocked out. One punch knocked out cold in the second round. It wasn't that. Anthony Yarde got systematically broken down round by round, beaten up. At the end of by the time the fight was over, his mouth was bleeding, his nose was bleeding, he was cut. He took a beating, man. He took damage, man. That type of damage, like that could be detrimental to your career going forward. So Anthony Yarde going in there against a Lindenhofer, he could potentially lose that as well. He could lose that because he took so much damage from David Benavidez. But yeah, Lindenhofer has a title that Anthony Yarde can target. The only other fight is, like I said, man, Dan Aziz. Do you know what I mean? Robert Whittaker. That could be a good fight for Whittaker to step up in level. Because Whittaker hasn't fought someone the caliber of Anthony Yarde. But that's the only fights I see for Anthony Yarde that the fans will even pay attention to, But what's the next one? Arian7379, welcome, my bro. Do you think AJ can beat Tyson Fury? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Obviously, listen, both guys are on the decline. Yeah, both guys are on the decline. I think we're all in agreement as boxing fans that Joshua and Fury should have really fought 5 years ago when both guys were in their prime. You know what I mean? When Joshua was tough, Fury was up there, Fury was knocking out the likes of Wilder. That's when that fight should have happened. And I've always been on the side that Anthony Joshua will catch Fury and knock him out. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've always believed that Anthony Joshua is going to beat him. And I still believe that now. As much as Anthony Joshua got absolutely crushed by Daniel Dubois last September, yeah, I still feel right now, if these two guys were to fight, I'm backing Anthony Joshua. So, yeah, it will be a good fight, very competitive. We already know Tyson Fury, very good boxer, great mover for someone that's 7 foot, 6 foot 9, however tall he claims to be. Even though I think his height is a bit exaggerated, I think Tyson Fury is probably like 6'7" or 6'8" max. When he says I'm 6 foot 9, whatever, he's lying, because I've seen him standing next to like Alex Pereira from the UFC, who's like 6'4", 6'5", and Fury was like an inch taller, man. You know what I mean? Obviously, sometimes people wear those platform shoes, like big shoes, whatever. But Fury ain't that tall, man. He ain't that big, man. He'll have the reach on Joshua. But I definitely think that the new Fury, especially if you watch Fury against Usyk, the both fights, it looked like Fury slowed down, innit? He's not moving as much as he did, innit? His movement is not as good. And also his reflexes is not what it was. You know what I mean? He's getting caught a little bit more now. And if Joshua catches him with that right hand, trust me, Fury's going to sleep, because even his punch resistance is not really there yet. Because don't forget, man, people forget, Fury got knocked down how many times by Wilder? Like 4 times? Those were heavy blows, man. For a big guy, you know how big guys are, man. When they drop, it's hard for them to get back up. Credit to Fury, he got back up. But he took some damage from Wilder. Yeah, he beat Wilder, but he took some damage, man. And you can see when Usyk punched him up in the 9th round of the first fight, Fury was all over the place, Like, that's because of the damage that he took previously against Wilder. That's why you saw in the second fight, in the rematch with Usyk, you didn't really see Fury taking chances, because Fury did not want to get hit. He did not want to take another one to the chin, because, do you know what I mean? Like, he knows he's very vulnerable, so he knows if he goes in there against Joshua, there's a possibility he gets knocked out. Because Joshua's got a big, big right hand. And ask yourself this question, yeah? Who wants the fight more? Who's chasing the fight more? And who doesn't want the fight? Fury doesn't want to fight. Anthony Joshua's been chasing Fury for the last year. Fury doesn't want to know. Fury don't want to know. Eddie Hearn's been trying to get the contract signed with Uncle Frank. Fury don't want to know. What did Fury say a couple of weeks ago when he came out and said he'll never fight Joshua or whatever? That fight will never happen. But Joshua wants to fight Fury. It would be a travesty if us boxing fans never see that fight between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Like, that would be a travesty. That would be crazy. That means in this era, in our era of boxing, like, we didn't see Fury and Joshua go at it. That's shameful, man. That should not be allowed to happen. Turkey al-Sheikh, throw that check at both. Give them 80 million each, 100 million each, man. Let them guys fight, man. Let them guys fight, man. Do you know what I mean? Because the revenue that they're going to generate from the promotions and the ticket sales and pay-per-views, that shit will pay itself. Do you know what I mean? It will pay itself. So just let them, it's got to happen. But I'm backing Anthony Joshua to knock out Tyson Fury. You know, but then again, Fury can go in and box his head off. Because Joshua is very vulnerable at the moment himself as well. Do you know what I mean? He's not exactly in high confidence. Hence, he's taking the Jake Paul fight instead of fighting someone like a Fabio Wardley next, or even a rematch with Daniel Dubois, because Joshua is not sure of himself. He doesn't even know where he is, you know? So, yeah. So, Arian, to answer your question, yeah. Anthony Joshua can defo beat Tyson Fury, according to me. Do you know what I mean? But Fury's chasing that Usyk fight. So, that's probably going to happen next. Now that Usyk has vacated the WBO title, Usyk is most likely going to fight Tyson Fury next in 2026. Watch this space. It's going to happen. Elden Joe Gaming. I do. All right, okay. Elden Joe Gaming. Who knows what shape Fury's brain is in now after all the booze and whatever else he's been at. Yeah, man. Fury's a nutter, man. Fury, very talented fighter, but he's a nutter, man. Elden Joe Gaming. Who's Robert Whittaker? Hold on, you don't know Robert Whittaker? Or am I getting the name wrong? Hold on. Robert Whittaker. Oh, yeah. Have I been saying it wrong? Damn it. One sec. My bad. Robert Whittaker is a UFC fighter. Hold on. Robert Whittaker. You don't know who Robert Whittaker is, mate? Listen, I apologize to the whole stream. I've been saying it wrong. Ben Whittaker, yeah? I meant Ben Whittaker. Benjamin Whittaker, not Robert Whittaker. Damn it. It's too late, mate. It's too late, mate. I shouldn't be up at this time. Nah, sorry. I didn't mean I didn't mean Robert Whittaker. Thanks for pointing that out, Eldon. Thanks for pointing that out, bro. I meant Ben Whittaker, yeah? Not Robert Whittaker. So let me just flip my screen. Oh my God, this is too funny, man. Head's gone, man. I had a head's gone moment there. This is what I mean. I mean this guy, yeah? Ben Whittaker, not Robert Whittaker, yeah? I mean Ben Whittaker. Yeah, this is the guy I meant. Yeah, this is him. I mean him, yeah? Benjamin Whittaker, not Robert Whittaker. The guy that I was talking about the whole time, Robert Whittaker, is a UFC fighter from Australia. Hey! Former middleweight champion. Very good fighter, solid fighter in the UFC. That's who the hell I was talking about. So this is the guy that I'm talking about. This is it's crazy. How I made that mistake crazy. The whole time I was saying Robert Whittaker, thinking it's Ben Whittaker. And this is it, yeah? I was talking about Robert Whittaker. The name that I was mentioning is him. UFC, former middleweight champion in the UFC, man. That's him, yeah. But sorry, people, I meant Ben Whittaker, yeah? Benjamin Whittaker, British light heavyweight fighter, who I believe should fight against Anthony Yarde. By the way, if you're in the building, smash the likes, my people. If you're new as well, subscribe. You're really gonna help the channel to grow. Who's backing my boy? Hey, Ryan, does Jake Paul got a good team around him for boxing? I still think his previous coach, BJ Flores, is better than the current one he currently have around him. I don't know. Who's Jake Paul got around him now? Who's Jake Paul's coach right now? I don't really know who his coach is. Man, I tell you what, though, Jake Paul has a fantastic team. He's got a great marketing team, though. He's got a great PR team, though. I must say that because, damn, the fights that he's been getting in boxing, the revenue that he's generated, the fortune that he's accumulated. Shout out to Jake Paul, man. Listen, Jake Paul is not my cup of tea. He ain't my cup of tea, man. But, you got to give it out to the guy, man. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what they say? Hate the game, don't hate the player, man. You know, you got to hate the game, man. A lot of people don't like Jake Paul, but we can't really hate on Jake Paul because the people who run boxing are allowing him to fight. They're sanctioning the fights. Do you know what I mean? They're giving him the license to box. So you got to blame them. He's not Jake Paul. He's just taking advantage of the whole situation, you know? And he's been very successful at it. Is it good for boxing? Some people say yes because he brings in the eyeballs. Yeah, he brings in a different type of audience. Some people might not want that audience, you know, to come into boxing. A bunch of kids, a bunch of streamers, gamers, whatever you want to call them. He's bringing them on. Some people like it. Some people don't like it. Yeah, he is whatever, you know what I mean? He's one of them ones like, it's a catch-22, man. Let me see who Jake Paul, who's coaching him now? Jake Paul coach. So Jake Paul's current coach is Theo Chambers. Theo Chambers is Jake Paul's current coach. To answer your question, Arian. Arian or Arian? I want to go with Arian. Eldon again, Yarde was talking to Boxing King Media the day after his loss to Benavidez, and he seemed to imply that Tunde didn't guide him through the fight properly. Mate, we've been saying, how long have we been saying this, man? Do you know what I mean? How long have we been saying this? Everyone's been saying this. You know, we've all been saying that Tunde hasn't guided, what's his name? He hasn't guided Anthony Joshua properly. We've all been saying that. At the start of this stream, when I was talking about the Yarde versus Benavidez fight, I was saying like, Tunde, great guy, by the way. I've met Tunde, you know, like I've met these guys. Like I've met Tunde, I've met him face to face. Do you know what I mean? I've met Anthony Yarde. Like I've been around these guys. They're good. Tunde's a good guy. Like he's a good vibes. You can talk to him. In terms of his persona, personality, great guy. Fantastic. But as a coach, I'm just keeping it professional. As a coach, he's not at the levels, man. He's not at the levels. Because who else is under Tunde? What other fight, apart from Anthony Yarde, what other fight is well known that's coached by Tunde? It's not like fighters are lining up to be coached by Tunde. We also have to ask ourselves, why is that? What other British light heavy or any other weight class, like a good name, a household name, or a recognizable name is trained under Tunde? Like, I don't think none apart from that's it. Let me check this out. Let me actually see who else Tunde coaches. Who does Tunde Ajay coach? Yeah, see, I can only see Anthony Yarde here, man. There's no other names, you know what I mean? So fighters are not queuing up to fight, to be trained by Tunde Ajay. One thing as well about Tunde Ajay that really frustrated me on Saturday in the fight against Benavidez, like, he's just unable to make adjustments in between the rounds, you know? Like, this Anthony Yarde, like, he fought the same way from round 1 all the way to round 7 when he got stopped. Listen, fighters need guidance, like you said in your comment. They need guidance, yeah? That comes from the corner, man. Because you're on the outside, you can see what's going on the inside. Sometimes when you're in the inside, you're the fighter, you might not see the mistakes that you're making. You might be dropping your left hand too much. You might not realize it when you're in the heat of battle, right? And it's up to your coach to tell you that. It's up to your coach to tell you that. Anthony Yarde was not utilizing his jab effectively against a very dangerous pressure fighter, the monster in David Benavidez. And not one time did I hear Tunde Ajayi tell him to make the adjustment. Not one time did I hear Tunde Ajayi say, listen, Anthony, you need to throw that right hand with conviction. We need to gain the respect of Benavidez. I never heard that. Again, listen, it's easier said than done because them guys are in the heat of battle. I'm sitting at home, I'm watching the fight on the live stream. You know what I mean? Like, I could say what I want, but when you're in the heat of battle, maybe things are different. But then that's where a world-class coach takes over. That's where that's where an elite coach, you know, someone like a Derek James, Bomac, you know, what other names? Even like a Virgil Hunter, you know, one of them coaches, Freddie Roach, you know, what's the other one? Jonathan Banks. One of those coaches here that I consider world-class coaches that I really respect, they'll guide you through. They'll manage you through a fight. They'll tell you to make the adjustments. Now, whether the fighter actually goes in the ring and makes the adjustments, that's up to the fighter. But at least hear it from the coach telling them to make the adjustments. With Tunde Ajayi, the only thing that I heard was he said to Anthony Yarde, don't forget, remember, you're a lion. He said to him, remember, you're a lion, Anthony. I mean, what's that going to do for the kid? What's that going to do? Like, that's not a tactical instruction. That's not a game plan. That's not an adjustment. You're a lion. Basically, what you're saying to the fighter is, yeah, listen, you're brave. You know, you're strong. Because that's what lions are known for, being brave, being strong, being the king of the jungle. Man, what's that going to do? That's not that. That don't mean shit against a monster like Benavidez. Let's keep it real. That don't mean shit. That won't work against Benavidez. It won't work, you know? And it's like, Tunde's been with Yarde this whole time. This whole time. They've been in previous to David Benavidez, they've been together in 2 title fights. And no lessons were learned. Think about it. The in-game management from Tunde when Yarde fought against Kovalev was poor. He didn't learn no lessons from that because the in-game management and in-fight management, the ability to make adjustments when needed, to make a change when you see your fighter struggling, the ability to give your fighter an instruction to change the direction of the fight so that the momentum can swing back towards them, non-existent on Saturday in Riyadh. If I didn't hear it, if you're in the comments right now, if you heard Tunde Ajayi give Yarde instructions, let me know, please. And what did he say to him? Because I didn't hear anything. Because Yarde fought the same way he fought from round 1 all the way to round 7 when he got stopped. There was no adjustments whatsoever. You know? So Tunde, I like him as a person. Great guy. You know, I don't have no beef with him. Respect to him. You know, I'm an amateur boxing coach. So I'll go respect for all the fighters and all the coaches, but I'm just going to say the truth. Tunde Ajayi, it's not just me. Everyone says it. The pundits say it, fighters say it, everyone says it. Do you know what I mean? Like, Tunde is not at the levels. He's not an elite coach, man. He's limited, you know, but he's good. He's been good for Anthony Yarde, you know what I mean? On a personal level, they have a great relationship. He's been good for him, you know? But as a coach, as someone that I would look at and say, yo, what has he improved in Anthony Yarde's game? I would say not much. Not much, man. You know, Anthony Yarde should have left him 5 or 6 years ago, you know? Sometimes a fighter, you have to be selfish. And I was having this conversation with one of my friends. He was telling me, no, but Enzo, man, like, you know, you have to respect the loyalty. I'm like, listen, I understand, yeah, loyalty, but blind loyalty is also very stupid. Be loyal, but don't give us some blind loyalty, man. That's dumb. That's stupid, man. You only have one career. You know what I mean? Like Anthony Yarde has had 3 bites of the cherry to become world champion. Some fighters only get 1. Some fighters never get nothing. No title chances. As a fighter, you have to be ruthless. Look at Floyd Mayweather, man. You know what I mean? His dad used to train him. That's his dad. But he left his dad, man. He's like, nah, you're not training me. I'm going to go with Roger Mayweather. I'm going to get trained by your brother because I believe he's the best coach for me. For me. You know, Golovkin, Triple G, he left Abel Sanchez, man. And they had a great relationship. They were together for like 10 years or whatever. He left him. Fighters have to make tough decisions, man. At the end of the day, you only have one career. You have to be selfish and make decisions for yourself. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? But I don't have nothing against Tunde. I just don't believe he's a world-class coach. But shout out to him, respect to him for stepping up to the plate. Do you know what I mean? Getting Anthony Yarde where he is. I'm sure financially, you know, if you actually look at it, him and Yarde have made good money together. Some people say Anthony Yarde is limited. I sit here and many, you know, people say that Tunde is limited as a coach. But look at the bank account, man. It's not looking good for a fighter that's limited and a coach that's limited. How many limited coaches can say they've made the amount of money that Tunde Adjah has made with Anthony Yarde? Not many. So he's doing something, right? It's just that on the boxing side of things, he hasn't taken Yarde to that promised land. Yarde should have jumped and got another coach. Just my opinion, man. Just my opinion. Let's move on quickly, man. I'm falling behind schedule here. I was meant to finish like 20 minutes ago. Red6789, welcome to the chat, brother. Hope you're good. Smash the likes if you're new to the channel. Subscribe. Are you going to watch the December 6th card? Fulton versus Foster, Lara versus Janet Beck, and Cruz versus Roach. Yeah. Red6789. I want, that's the plan, right? That's the plan. I want to watch it. The only problem with that is there's another card in Australia, in the Gold Coast. You got Japataya, Teremuana, and Justice Uni. That's another card as well. I'm doing a live watch along for that as well. So I don't know the time difference, you know? Like I don't know how I'm gonna do it. It must be one after the other. I'm sure Australia must be behind the US or ahead of the US, right? So I might do the Japataya one. I'll do that. Go to sleep for a bit, rest a little bit, and then wake up for the Cruz versus Roach card, because that's a great card as well, you know. Lara versus Janabak, that's a good fight. So I can't miss that. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do 2 watch alongs, man, because I really want to finish the year strong, you know. I've done almost all the big cards this year. I want to finish strong. You know what I mean? I want to finish strong. I love doing live streams, man. I love doing a live commentary. I love it. Do you know what I mean? Some people say that Enzo, I've got the best commentary. Do you know what I mean? There are people telling me, yo, Enzo, you're very entertaining, and I appreciate it. I love that. So yeah, I might do that. I might do it. I might do it, brother. Watch out for that. The link will be in the community post. Ilden Joe Gaming, Nathan Cleverly. Yeah, Nathan Cleverly, innit? Have I got another name wrong? Mate, you keep catching me out, man. I'm sure it's Nathan Cleverly, mate. Let me see. Am I wrong again? Have I got it wrong again? Nathan Cleverly. I've lost my head. Ah, yes. Eldon, I'm right. I'm right this time, mate. I'm not wrong. There he is. I'm going to flip my screen. Nathan Cleverly. He's retired though. He must be retired now. There he is, Nathan Cleverly. Former WBO light heavyweight champion. British. That's him there. That's him there. That's the guy there. That's him. That's him. There he is. Nathan Cleverly. You ain't getting me this time, bro. Not this time. That's him. That's him right there. Nah, you ain't getting me this time, bro. Nah, I mean, but yeah, listen, I want to move on to the Devin Haney, versus Brian Norman Jr. fight. What did you guys think about it? Let me know in the comments though. What did you guys think of Devin Haney's performance against Brian Norman Jr.? I think Haney's got a lot of hate. I don't know. I don't know why does Haney get a lot of hate? I just don't understand it. Why does Devin Haney get a lot of hate? I know his dad does get into some scrabbles online, you know what I mean? He's beefing quite a lot of people online. But, man, Devin Haney is a super talented fighter, man. Look at his achievements. I think he's been, undisputed champion at 135? 140? He was undisputed champion. He's 27 years old. He has been a champion in 3 weight divisions. What more do you guys want from Devin Haney? It makes no sense, man. I see Devin Haney getting so much hate. I see Devin Haney, you know, being criticized online. They're saying that he didn't want to engage. You know, it doesn't make no sense. Let me get the copy box numbers, yeah, I'll do the Devin Haney one, but let me just finish up with Anthony Yarde. Anthony Yarde versus David Benavidez. Let's get a CompuBox number. Yeah, that's why when I say like Anthony Yarde was so poor, yeah. Let's look at the CompuBox numbers quickly, and then I'll move on to Devin Haney. By the way, shout out to everyone that's in the building, man. I really appreciate you coming through and supporting your boy, man. Do you know that? Let me flip my screen so you can see the CompuBox numbers as well. Just quickly. Look at the CompuBox numbers, yeah? Look. If you look right at the top here, where my sensor is, yeah? That's the total punches landed, thrown. If you look at in round 1, look at the numbers here. Look at those numbers for Yarde. Look at the numbers for Yarde, yeah? 3 punches thrown in round 1. 23 punches thrown in round 1, 3 landed. Crazy. Look at the low output. Look at the numbers for Yarde. Just very poor, man. Jabs landed, jabs thrown. In the first round, the jabs for Anthony Yarde threw 14 jabs in the first round. He landed 0. 0 landed. You're fighting a monster like Benavidez, and you landed 0. That is diabolical, mate. You've got absolute no chance. 0% jab landed in round 1 for Anthony Yarde. Round 1 is when you're meant to be gaining that respect. Round 1 is when you're fresh, mate. Do you know what I mean? Round 1 is when you're meant to be very accurate. Look, 0 landed, man. And if you go across, you can go check out the numbers yourself, yeah? Because I want to move on quickly. You can go check out the numbers, the CompuBox numbers yourself. But the numbers absolutely, like, it just tells a horrible story for Anthony Yarde in that fight. It was a very underwhelming performance from Anthony Yarde. Unlike him. It was very unlike him. His numbers were just terrible. Terrible. Do you know what I mean? Overall, the guy, his success rate with the jabs, total jabs, landed to the body, whatever, Yeah, he was landing at 9.6%, man. Terrible. But go check it out. Do you know what I mean? Go check out the numbers. It's terrible for Anthony Yarde. Absolutely terrible, man. But yeah, let's move on from that. Let me read some other questions. What do you think of light heavy Albert Ramirez? Albert Ramirez. Yeah, he's good, man. I like him. Do you know what I mean? I ain't watched him too much, though. But from what I've seen, I like. Let's go to... I want to move on to Devin Haney as well. Devin Haney, great win against Brian Norman Jr. Now, I predicted Brian Norman Jr. to knock out Devin Haney. How wrong was I? I was so wrong. I have to apologize to Devin Haney. I thought he was going to get knocked out. But nah. Nah, man. Devin Haney boxed beautifully. He boxed absolutely beautifully, man. You know what? That just showed me that fight. It reminded Devin Haney like almost had to remind people of his talent. He had to remind people who the hell Devin Haney is. Undisputed champion. Do you know what I mean? He's been a champion in 3 weight classes. Like, what the hell you guys, where's that? Why the hate? Do you know what I mean? Ever since his fight against Ryan Garcia, even though Ryan Garcia got caught with peds, mate. Garcia got caught with peds. Yet people hate on Devin Haney. That don't even make no goddamn sense, my people, man. Like, make it make sense. Please, show respect to Devin Haney. Put some respect on Devin Haney's name, please. That was a great performance from Devin Haney. I think his jab was absolutely superb. His jab was on point on Saturday in Riyadh. Brian Norman Jr. couldn't get close. He could not get close. And Devin Haney didn't run. He was engaging. I see Conor Ben talking about, oh, yeah, Devin Haney was running away. He was scared to throw the jab. What the hell are you talking about? We're going to look at the CompuBox numbers. I'm sure the CompuBox numbers will prove me right that Devin Haney's jab was on point. Brian Norman Jr., he exposed himself for the lack of boxing skills. He had no setups whatsoever. His jab was non-existent. He couldn't get close. Couldn't close the distance. Whenever he got close, he got tagged with a jab, man. Brian Norman Jr. needs to go back, man. He needs to go back. Man, he needs to train harder. Do you know what I mean? He needs to train harder, like, because it feels like Brian Norman Jr., like, he was lunging in with those left hooks. Just because Devin Haney got knocked down a couple of times against Ryan Garcia with a left hook, all of a sudden, Brian Norman Jr. thought, yeah, I can get him with that same punch, as if Devin Haney hasn't learned his lesson. There was no game plan or tactics from Brian Norman Jr. apart from the left hook, which he couldn't land and never landed. You know, there was absolute no setup, yeah, like from Brian Norman Jr. There was no boxing skills to get him close, to get him within range, to let his shots go. Whenever he did get close, Haney popped him with a jab or grabbed him, so he couldn't do anything. It was easy money. It was an easy win for Devin Haney. Please put some respect on Devin Haney's name. This kid is very talented, 27 years of age. Look at what he's achieved. But he gets a lot of hate because his dad is always in beef. And a lot of people are just fans of Ryan Garcia. Do you know what I mean? Listen, the only thing I don't agree with Devin Haney is his fashion choices. Do you know what I mean? Like, Devin Haney, yo, brother. Ache, brother. You know, Devin Haney is a Muslim. Ache. I'm not a Muslim. I'm not a religious guy. But, you know, in Arabic, brothers, ache. Ache. You know, there's a guy called Bouncer. I don't know if you've heard of Bouncer, but he says ache in his videos. Oi, ache. What the hell are you wearing, brother? You know what I mean? That's the only thing I don't agree with Devin Haney's. The fashion sense. The fashion sense don't make no goddamn sense. Like, the shit this kid be wearing, like, I'm like, yo, are you okay, bro? I'm not doing that. I'm not wearing that. But hey, it's his choice, eh? Me, I'm good with a hoodie, a beanie hat, whatever you call it, and joggers, man, and a pair of white Air Force Ones. I'm good to go, man. All these trousers and bruv, some of the shit these guys be wearing. Hey, I'm an 80s baby, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, I grew up in the early 90s, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just cut from a different era, man. You know what I mean? Some of the shit these guys be wearing, like, yo, like I ain't gonna be trying that. Devin Haney, let me see Devin Haney fashion. The only thing I don't agree with Devin Haney is his fashion sense, man. But do you know what I mean? Like anything else is good. Let me share my screen. Look, see these type of things that he be wearing and that, like these boots and that, like I ain't wearing that, man. Like that's not for me, man. I'm good, man. You know what I mean? I'm good, man. You know. He be wearing some sus garments, mate. But it's his choice, man. But these guys is look at that champion, man. You know what I mean? He's a champion. Devin Haney is a champion. He's a hell of a champion, and he performed great against Brian Norman Jr. He absolutely schooled Brian Norman Jr. When I was watching that fight on the live stream, I was surprised how easy it was for Devin Haney. And he's just reminded people of the levels that he's at. He's operating at a higher level than most of these guys. But I also must say that the welterweight division right now is the weakest he's ever been. The 147 division, 147 pounds, is the weakest I've ever seen. Do you know what I mean? Back in my day, you had Team Bradley, Amir Khan, Floyd Money Mayweather, Miguel Cotto. Do you know what I mean? Manny Pacquiao. Oscar De La Hoya. Man, there were some solid fighters in 147 pounds. Some of the names I'm seeing there now, right now, like, what's his name? What's the other champion? Mario Barrios, whatever. Come on, man. That guy's, these are jokes, man. Joke names. Brian Norman Jr. is a champion. Come on. Who are the other champions? I don't even know their names. Devin Haney is probably the biggest name now in the welterweight division as a champion. It just shows you that the division is poor. It's not where it was 10 years ago, Very poor. But anyways, but shout out to Devin Haney. Shout out to Devin Haney. I was really impressed. I was really impressed by his performance. He answered the questions from a lot of critics. I was looking at the body language of Turki Al-Sheikh. I don't think Turki Al-Sheikh likes Devin Haney. Because remember when Devin Haney fought against Jose Ramirez in that NYC card? And he was running around because he wasn't confident. He just got knocked down a couple of times against Ryan Garcia. It was the first time he was fighting, and his comeback fight, etc. He wasn't taking no chances. And then the next day, Turki Al-Sheikh comes out and says, yo, we're going to make the ring smaller. Like, we can't have fighters running around. We need to reward fighters that stand and bang and fight. Turki Al-Sheikh took some shots at Devin Haney for running around. And in this fight against Brian Norman Jr., I was looking at the body language of Turki Al-Sheikh. He wasn't happy with Devin Haney winning. Like, he clearly doesn't like Devin Haney. But hey, he's still paying him though. But shout out to Devin Haney, man. Shout out to him. The next fight, if Ryan Garcia gets past Rolly Romero, I think that's the next fight, innit? No, hold on. I heard Ryan Garcia's fighting Mario Barrios. So if Ryan Garcia should win that fight, because Barrios, I'm sorry, man. I saw him against Manny Pacquiao, who's 50 years old, and he struggled, man. They got a draw. So I can see Ryan Garcia smoking him. But then again, we don't know which Ryan Garcia will turn up, because a lot of people thought Ryan Garcia was going to be Rolly Romero, and we saw what happened in that fight. Ryan Garcia's hit and miss a lot of the time. So, if Ryan Garcia gets past Mario Barrios, then we could get Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia, the rematch. That would be interesting. I think Haney really wants that fight because Garcia kind of like damaged Haney's brand, you know, which is weird because Haney was the guy that was the clean fighter. Garcia was the one that was popped, you know. So it's funny how he got all the blunt, he got all the criticism, he got all the hate when he did nothing wrong. So yeah, man, we watch out for this space, man. We should see. I think that rematch is gonna go ahead if Ryan Garcia gets past Mario Barrios, which I think he would. But yeah, shout out to Devin Haney, great win, fantastic win, well done, brother, well done. Let me read some of your questions. Red 6789. What do you think of light heavyweight RB? Oh yeah, I read that already. Forgot. Eldon, Joe Gaming. It's a good stream, bro. We need you to replace the Spencer Oliver at Talk Sport. Oh my God! Don't let me get started, man. Don't let me get started, brother. Listen, first of all, I appreciate that, man. Thanks for the compliment. I'm glad you enjoy the streams. About me replacing Spencer Oliver. Listen, I like Spencer Oliver, man, you know. The Oos. He used the Oaks, whatever he calls himself when he was a fighter. Listen, I don't agree with a lot of the things that he says because sometimes I'm going to keep it real, yeah. A lot of the time, yeah, I feel like some of these pundits and analysts, whatever you call them, yeah, you pundits, whatever they are, yeah, like they have relationships in it. They have relationships with certain fighters. They have relationships with certain promoters, certain managers. So what they do is they want to protect those relationships, right? Because, you know, the reason why they gain access to fighters for interviews, etc., is through those relationships that they have with promoters and managers. Now, if they say something wrong, if Spencer Oliver was to say what he really feels about some of these fighters, he knows he's going to lose that access. He's going to lose that access. So he doesn't want to do that. His employers at Talk Sport, they'll direct him as well. They'll tell him probably what to say, etc. So he can't afford to lose access to fighters because if he does, he has no job, right? He has no job. Do you know what I mean? So he can't really be totally honest when he's doing commentary. He's always gonna have bias towards the fighters that he has relationships with, fighters that he's friends with. Do you know what I mean? So I feel for them. I feel for them. Listen, I feel for a lot of these guys that work for that on the zone and Adeola Depot, all these guys, you know, they can't really. They can express themselves, but with caution. There is certain territories that you can't enter because at the end of the day, they employed me. I don't have a boss. I'm not employed by none of these guys, so I can say whatever. I can say whatever the hell I wanna say on my own stream. Like I ain't got no relationship with no fighters. None of these fighters pay me. None of the promoters pay me. None of the managers pay me. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm going to be real honest. I can keep it real the whole time. You know, even Anthony Yarde. Look, Anthony Yarde, we grew up on the same block. We're both from Stratford in Newham. We haven't seen each other. I haven't seen Anthony Yarde for a while, though, for a couple of years. But I have the confidence. I value myself highly. Do you know what I mean? I value myself. I have self-respect for myself and my opinion that I could express myself. Yeah, I could be real, I could be honest, and see Anthony Yarde in the street tomorrow, meet him, and still dap him up and still say hello and still say, how are you, bro? How you doing? For me, it's not a problem. He might, if he ever comes across one of my streams or one of my videos and he thinks that I was being a bit too harsh or whatever, we can talk it out. Do you know what I mean? You can tell me why you think and then why you think I was being too harsh. And I'll tell you, yo, I have to keep it real, man. I can't fake it. I have to tell the people exactly how it is. I call myself Enzo, the realest in the game. Yeah, that's a very bold statement. The realest in the game, do you know what that means? Some people might actually find that insulting, mate. If I'm calling myself the realest in the game. What am I saying about everyone else? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that everyone else is not real, but what I'm saying is that if I'm gonna call myself the realest in the game, I have to keep it 100. I have to stay authentic the whole time. Now, I'm a human being. I might get some facts wrong. That's fine. You know what I mean? I'll put my hands up and apologize for it. But I'll always say the truth. I'll always say how I feel. That's why I don't see myself ever working for these outlets, these broadcasters, The Zone, TalkSport, whatever. If the only one when I work with them, if my creativity is not limited. Do you know what I mean? If they give me the freedom to express, as long as I'm not directly insulting somebody, you know? Like when I'm doing my analytical, my tactical fight breakdowns, I don't talk personally about a fighter, like a fighter and his family. I don't go there, right? You will never see me do a reaction about someone's family. Like I see other people talking about people's families and what's going on in their personal life. I don't do none of that shit. I keep it to the sport, you know? So as long as I keep it to the sport, I keep it to the fighters and the performances in the ring, man, my conscience is clear. If somebody has a problem with it, then that's their problem. Because at the end of the day, we are all entitled to our opinions. It's just the same as you at home. You might critique my stream, you know? You might critique my analytical skills. You might critique my fight breaking down skills. You can critique anything. Do you know what I mean? Just don't get personal. If you get personal, if you're attacking me personally, like, oh, yeah, Enzo's got a big head or what, like, hey, that's when I'm going to come for you. But if you say, yo, Enzo, like, you know, you need to get your facts right. You need to do your checks. Or Enzo, you know, you got that name wrong. Or you, like, if you're correcting me on factual things, then I understand, like, I can respect you for that. You know, just don't get personal. It's the same with me and fighters and promoters and trainers and coaches. I'm going to critique them, but constructive criticism. I'm not going to be rude to them. I'm not going to insult them personally. Do you know what I mean? I'm not that type of person. I come from a background of respect. You know what I mean? My parents taught me well, very well educated. Do you know what I mean? I went to uni. I've got a marketing economic degree. Do you know what I mean? Like I know about this shit. You know, very, very well, good background. You know, I'm African. I'm from the Congo. You know, when I was being raised, I was raised to respect my elders, to respect people. Do you know what I mean? So I have good morals, man. Do you know what I mean? I have good ethics. Come from a very solid background. You know, so yeah, I'm not that type of guy. But yeah, the likes of Spencer Oliver and all them guys, they're not really that free to speak their mind. I am. That's why I said, like I said, people need to support this platform, EMGM Sports, support it, so that people like me, I have a voice, and then I can give a voice to people of a similar mindset. Do you know what I mean? So we can come together and express ourselves. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't ever want to work for none of these guys, to be honest. The Zone, TalkSport. Now, can we collaborate? I could collab with them, but to be like full-time and them telling me, yo, go do this. Oh, go interview that guy. Oh, you can't talk about Anthony Joshua. You can't talk about my man. I'm like, hell to that. Bruv, no. Sorry. Not me, man. I value my freedom more than money. Do you know what I mean? You can keep your money. I just want my freedom. You know what I mean? So, yeah, as long as I'm in good health, I'm happy, man. I like my freedom. I don't really care about all the other extra stuff. Listen, it's a bonus to be recognized by big platforms that you're doing something good. Do you know what I mean? It shows that I'm doing something good. It shows that they recognize the talent that Enzo, the realest in the game, has. And if they want to collab and shit, that's fine. That's fine. You know, we all eventually want to grow. We want to evolve. And sometimes you need these big platforms. You need some of these big guys, the guys that have more subscribers than you and et cetera, to kind of like help you out along the way. We all need that, innit? You know how this YouTube game shit works. They don't really support small creators. So sometimes you might have to jump on a big platform just to get, you know, that extra exposure, you know? But for me, it's going to have to be on my terms. I'm going to have to dictate the terms, you know? I have to keep my freedom of expression. Creativity, I have to keep it. I have to be myself. If they try and limit me, the hell no. Even if I'm offered 100 grand, I ain't doing it. I'm telling you right now, I'm the realest. But that's a good comment there by Elden. I think you've gone home anyway. You've gone to sleep. Red 6789, the F. No. Elden, nah, just for cleverly. Okay. Yeah, fair. I think Elden is gone to sleep. Okay, so the fight with Lara versus Janabek is in Texas. UK time is 6 hours ahead of US. Okay, yeah, listen, man. Red 6789. I'll do the live watch along for that, man. I'll do the watch along. So come along. I'll do the watch along, no problem. That's fine. I'll do the live watch along, man. That's good. I'll do it. I'll do the watch alongs. I'll do the Gold Coast Japatai one. I'll do that, and I'll do the I'll do the Lara versus Janabek as well. Let's go. Let's do it. Why not? Come on. Elden Joe Gaming, peace out, bro. Gonna go to sleep. Listen, Elden, thank you so much for coming through. Go to sleep. Enjoy your sleep, bro. Adiri Pennant. Yo, Pennant, what's good, bro? Welcome. I'm a little bit behind on some of these comments. I'm just trying to catch up. Who win Davi Benavidez versus Japatai? Oh. Yeah, this is the one, innit? This is the one. I think I dropped a video on it yesterday. Yeah, last night. Well, it's Tuesday morning now, innit? I dropped a video Sunday evening, yeah? And I spoke about this because after the fight, when David Benavidez, did what he did to Anthony Yarde in a post-fight interview, he revealed to us that he's gonna be fighting Zordo Ramirez on the 2nd of May. They've got that Mexican holiday, Cinco de Mayo. There's Mexican celebrations, national holiday in the US for them. So that's gonna be big. 2 Mexicans going at it. I thought that if Japatai was to win his fight on the 6th of December, Zordo Ramirez is coming back against Robin Safar. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. He's back on the 16th of January. I was thinking, okay, Opatai wins his fight. Zordo wins his fight, his comeback fight. Little tune-up warm-up. Then we get Zordo Ramirez versus Japatai. We get that in May for the unification. But Benavidez goes and drops that bombshell in Riyadh that he's going to fight Zordo. For him to come out and say that publicly, in front of potentially millions of fans watching around the world, in front of Turki Al-Sheikh and all them guys there, Eddie Hearn, that means there's been an agreement signed behind the scenes already. There must be some type of verbal agreement. Now, I've done further research. I couldn't really find anything in regards to that story or to confirm what Benavidez said. But based on how Zordo has behaved in the past year, how they've been ducking Japatai, and I make no apologies about it, Zordo Ramirez has been ducking Japatai. I do believe Benavidez. I do believe that Zordo Ramirez will fight David Benavidez in May. I think that's going to happen. Benavidez is not stupid. He's not dumb to say publicly and announce it. That means there's been a deal done behind the scenes, and I believe that fight happens. And if the fight was to happen, David Benavidez smokes Zordo Ramirez, because Zordo Ramirez in his last couple of fights, he looks slow. He looks slow. He looks done. He looks done, man. And I think the pressure, the volume, the angles from Benavidez will prove too much for Zordo. I think if Benavidez doesn't get to him by round there, I think he's going to win on points comfortably, man. Well, Zordo just doesn't throw much these days. Tough guy. He's got a chin on him, but Benavidez will win that fight. Now, To answer your question, who wins? David Benavidez versus Yarde Patel. What a fight that would be. What a fight that would be. Benavidez versus Yarde Patel. My God. That's a crazy fight, man. That is a crazy fight. The Mexican Monster versus the Samoan Beast. That's what I'm calling it. Is there a difference between a monster and a beast, or is it just the same thing? But what a fight, because Benavidez likes to come forward, you know, it's the pressure cooker, right? Backs you up against the ropes and full volumes, mate. Yarde Patel would just love that, because Yarde Patel loves to bang. He loves to crack. He loves to fight. Yarde Patel, he wants you to come onto him. Yarde Patel wants to fight you. He wants to break your jaw, mate. And sometimes Benavidez, he does stand square. You know, when he's throwing all those wild punches, he leaves himself open in the middle. Yarde Patel with that left hand, man, southpaw stance, he is going to crack David Benavidez. But at the same time, I believe the pressure that David Benavidez is going to bring to Yarde Patel will be something that Yarde Patel has never seen before, has never experienced before. And David Benavidez could get to Yarde Patel. That's just going to be a hell of a fight. One thing we can say about that fight, it's not going to be boring, though. It's not going to be a boring fight. That's going to be a very exciting fight. Now, I'm a big Yarde Patel fan. I'm not going to lie. I feel like Yarde Patel doesn't get the recognition that he deserves. For me, he's an elite world-class fighter, man. He should be, for me, I'm just saying me personally, Yarde Patel is in my top 5 pound for pound best fighters in the world right now. That's just me. He's that good. I rate Yarde Patel highly. Yarde Patel is the only fighter in the world right now that I'm actually scared of. The guy scares me, man. I've spoken to a few people that kind of know Yarde Patel. They've told me that he's a nice guy, man. He's a really nice guy. You know, lovely guy. He tells a lot of jokes. If you're around him, he'll make you laugh all day. But when he gets in the ring, the guy's just a savage. The guy's an absolute savage, man. And him and David Benavidez for undisputed, that fight is gonna be for undisputed, right? Because if Yarde Patel smokes Sin Cara in December, which we expect him to do, yes, Sin Cara's not at his level. Let's say February, March, if Badou Jack can grow a pair and face Yarde Patel, I think Yarde Patel smokes Badou Jack. Badou Jack is what, 42, 43. Yarde Patel smokes him, takes his belt. Is it the WBA? Is it WBC? Yeah, he's got the WBC. He's got the WBC. Badou Jack's got the WBC. Yarde Patel takes that off him. Benavidez smokes Zordo in May. Then we get, like in the fall, September, October, we get Yarde Patel versus David Benavidez for undisputed. What a fight. That is going to be cracker of a fight. But to me personally, early doors, I'm leaning towards Yarde Patel, man. I think Yarde Patel just punches too hard. He's relentless himself. He's a savage. And the most important thing I like about Yarde Patel is his mentality, man. The guy's mentality is absolutely ruthless, man. Remember what Yarde Patel had a fight where he broke his jaw. Yeah, he got a broken jaw, but he carried on fighting, man. With a broken jaw, and he won the fight. Is it Breeders? Breeders, yeah, against Breeders. Yarde Patel against Breeders. Had his jaw broken, I think like in the third or fourth round. The guy carried on fighting and won. Mate, you need to be scared of a guy who fights with a broken jaw, mate. Do you know how hard it is? Like, listen, I've never had a broken jaw. I've never been punched up by someone to have a broken jaw. But can you imagine, yeah, you're in a world championship fight against a world-class fighter and you've got a broken jaw. Do you know how strong mentally you have to be to get through that? Yarde Patel is not one of those fighters that will break under pressure. He's not going to break, mate. You have to knock him out cold. You have to knock him the F out cold. Cold. He has to go to sleep. They have to take him out of that ring on a stretcher. Japata just hasn't got no quitting him. He is not quitting, mate. He is not quitting. Hence why I just put him as the favorite. I got him ahead of Benavidez, man. Because Benavidez, if you look at a lot of the fights that he wins, the guys they quit, man. Mentally they check out. Do you know what I mean? They just get discouraged. Benavidez gets to them. Benavidez starts what do you call it? Quoting them on. Do you know what I mean? Against like David Yarde, on Anthony Yarde. Benavidez was like, come on, let's go. Come on, let's go, let's go. You know, Anthony Yarde cracked him with a right hand. Benavidez was like, okay, let's go, let's go. That's nothing, that's nothing. Absolute no respect for whatever Yarde was throwing at him. Now, that Japata is the wrong guy to do that with. If Benavidez is in the ring, he gets cracked by Japata's left hand, and he goes to Japata, let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on, let's fight. Japata is just going to crack him with another 5 left hands until he drops him. Japata is the wrong guy to encourage to come and fight you, mate, because he will happily take your invitation. Do you know what I mean? He'll answer your invitation with plenty more as well. You know what I mean? So hence, I put Japata. I make him favorite against David Benavidez, but that's gonna be a hell of a fight, man. You know what? Benavidez going up to the cruiserweight division, even though I'm slightly disappointed because I wanted to see Benavidez take on Dimitri Bivol, just because stylistically, I really like to see how that fight goes. If the two guys were to ever fight, Bivol with his fast hands and combinations and movement, great footwork, in and out, punching, very dynamic, versus Benavidez, who comes forward, is the pressure cooker, is the monster. I really wanted to see how Dimitri Bivol would make the adjustments in the fight. Let's say he's facing a bit of problems, how he makes the adjustments. That's a very intriguing fight, and I like to see that. I also wanted to see Benavidez versus Artur Beterbiev, man. I know Artur Beterbiev is getting along now with age, etc., but that's a fight that I really wanted to see. So it's kind of a shame he's leaving the lightweight division, light heavy division, and going into the cruiserweight. But him moving up to the cruiserweight is good for the cruiserweight and it's good for Japata, because now at least Japata has another big name in that division. He's got a new dancing partner, basically. He's got a new target. He's got someone else to target. And David Benavidez makes that whole cruiserweight division that right now, let's be real, it's very stale, isn't it? Apart from Japata, there's no one else really there. It's kind of a boring division right now. The cruiserweight division is not a glamour division, right? David Benavidez moving up there makes it, glamorizes it a little bit. You know what I mean? Makes it a little bit more sexy. You know what I mean? It gives you that sex appeal. And that's what we want to see, because the more big names you have in the division, the more money you can make as well. Do you know what I mean? The more the purse bids are bigger, etc., etc. So I think Benavidez moving up is doing Japata a big favor as well. You know, it's good for Japata. But then again, I'm hearing that Benavidez is gonna go up, challenge Zodo Ramirez, take his belt, relinquish them, move back down to the light heavyweight division, which just crazy. Doesn't make no goddamn sense, man. That's what I'm hearing as well from some quarters. But yeah, I've got Japata. I've got him ahead of Benavidez, man. It won't be easy, by the way. Benavidez, I have to say I had to eat humble pie because I had him losing against Anthony Yarde. But one thing Benavidez showed to me as well, because I've watched his highlights, before I do my fight breakdowns, I have to watch a lot of tape. I have to look at a fighter's weaknesses. I have to look at, pros and cons, strength, etc., etc. And I just felt Benavidez, he gets hit too much. And I thought, you know what? Yarde could crack him with a right hand. But one thing Benavidez showed me on Saturday against Yarde is that this guy's strong, man. You know what I mean? He never gives up on himself, man. Do you know what I mean? He's got such belief within himself, yeah. And you need that. Do you know what I mean? You have to be very sadistic. You need to be a narcissist. You need to be a monster. You have to have that killer instinct to be a world champion and to last at the top. Do you know what I mean? You have to be a beast. And Benavidez has that in abundance. He's the real deal, man. You know what I mean? I feel like, I kind of underestimated David Benavidez. I just want to give him his flowers now. Well done, man. Do you know what I mean? Solid. He's a real deal. He's a monster for real. You know, he's a monster for real, man. But I got Japata beating him. But shout out to Benavidez, man. Respect to David Benavidez, man. He's the real deal, man. You know what I mean? He's got a new fan in me, you know? Like, he's a solid guy. Like, I still feel his skills are not at the level of some of the other fighters that I rate, like a Bivol, Turbiev, and his pump. I don't think he's there. I don't think he's got those technical abilities as those fighters. But for what he does, he's very effective and he's very good at it. And he works. Sometimes that's all you need. You don't need to be a great boxer. You don't need to be an elite fighter, very skilled at boxing. If what you do is very effective and it gets you wins, yeah, and it's got other fighters afraid of you of your methods, mate, keep doing that, man. It doesn't matter what I think, mate. You're winning already. Adiri Pennon, again, I said it before and I'll say it again. They should just get rid of the cruiserweight division because majority of them are heavyweights and light heavyweights. Yeah, man, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. But you know what? They're not going to get rid of it. Money. Money, man. Don't forget, man, every division, the sanctioning bodies, the organizations, they're making money, man, because people, you know, the more belts you have, the more money, because these fighters, they pay the fees, innit? For holding the belts, you have to pay a fee. So all these guys that have belts, they pay, I don't know, 10%, 12% or whatever to the organization, the WBC, WBA, IBF. They pay the fees, man. So they're not gonna get rid of the cruiserweight division, man. That means they're gonna be losing money. You know, they're gonna be losing money. Also, like, I think the cruiserweight division, when it was first launched, it was heavily criticized. A lot of people were like, nah, man, we don't need it. But if you look over the years, look at some of the champions, man. If we didn't have the cruiserweight division, there will be no Evander Holyfield, undisputed champion. There will be no, what's his name? Alexander Usyk, undisputed champion in the cruiserweight division. Do you know what I mean? So you need it. You need it. I think it's a good thing. I think leave it there, man. I think it's worked well since it was established. I think there's nothing wrong with it. The only one I didn't like is that bridgerweight division. That was a step too far, man. Lawrence Okoli was there. Sorry. I'm glad they got rid of that crap because no one took that serious. And there was no money in it because there's no fight. There's no big name will go on it. The bridgerweight division was terrible. But cruiserweight division, I think leave it, man. There's been some great champions there, man. So I think leave it as it is. Pennon is back again. I'm going to read the last few comments. I'm going to be here for another 5 minutes. Then, yeah, we're going to call it a day, man. I'm going to call it. I need to go to sleep. I've got things to do in the morning. Pennon again. Do you think David Benavidez will do well at heavyweight? Nah, man. It's too small for a heavyweight. I don't think he goes to the heavyweight division. Too small, man. He'll get smoked. He'll get smoked. I think for David Benavidez, light heavy or cruiserweight. One of these. Stay in one of them. Don't go to heavyweight. I think heavyweight, you get punched up and you get knocked out. It's too small. Red 6789. Rolly Romero is champ at 147. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Rolly Romero. I forgot about him. Yeah. Rolly Romero is champ at 147. I like Rolly. Good guy, man. Good guy, man. Some of his interviews are a bit funny as well. But like I said, man, the cruiserweight, the welterweight division, man, is not what it was, isn't it? Like, I'm just from the era of Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, Miguel Cotto, Amir Khan. Do you know what I mean? Zab Judah, all them guys there. You know, like. It was much more exciting. There was the talent pool was much deeper than it is right now. Do you know what I mean? It's just not the same. It's not even comparable. You know? Scop, Jeton, Gavazi. Yeah, Gavazi. Listen, everyone that came to the live stream today, man, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you coming through. Just make sure you smash the likes. Make sure you smash the likes. Subscribe as well if you're new to the channel. I really appreciate it. But yeah, I'm gonna be here every Monday. I'm here, you know, every Monday. I'm more consistent with it now. Doing these live streams, I'm more consistent with it now. You know what I mean? And what I want to do in future, I'm still trying to find a way of doing it. I want you guys and girls who are subscribed to the channel to call in or actually, I'll bring you in. You can join me via video link and we can have a chat. You can come on, chat to Enzo, the realest in the game, because I know a lot of you guys and girls, you know about your boxing. Do you know what I mean? You're very clued on. You're very clued on your boxing. You know what I mean? You know what you're talking about. Some of you guys and girls even know more than me. Do you know what I mean? I know it because I see your breakdowns in the comments. I see your analytical skills and everything like that. So I know you're very talented. And I want you to showcase it in front of the world, whatever audience I have. I want you to share it, man. You know what I mean? Share your talents. Whatever questions you have for me as well, Any boxing questions, you know what I mean? Fitness questions, whatever. Coaching questions, because I'm an amateur boxing coach as well. You can come on and ask me those questions. I'm just trying to find the mechanics of it, how I'm going to do it. I'm not too sure yet, but watch out. Watch this space. I'm going to announce something in the community post. Make sure you keep your eye on that. You can come on to the show. I think I'm going to try and do it next week, Monday, where I'm going to get people to come on, you know what I mean? Especially you regulars who I see your name a lot of the time. Loyal subscribers, solid guys and girls who come on all the time on my live streams. I want to bring you up. We have a chat, whatever you want to say. Instead of you typing in the comments, you can actually speak on it. You can actually, speak to me live during the stream. So watch out for that. But yeah, like I said, thanks so much. Thank you so much. The next watch along for a fight, the next live commentary will be, December 6th. So another, 2 weeks? Yeah, Saturday, December the 6th, we got a Yarde card in the Gold Coast. So not this Saturday, next week Saturday, the following Saturday, we got Yarde. We got who else? We got Cruz versus Roach. We got that as well. So that's coming up as well. Yeah, exciting times for boxing. I want to end the year strong, man. I said to myself, I'm going to do as many live streams as possible. I want to end the year strong. I was aiming for like 4,000 subscribers, but yeah, that's looking tough, man. That is not looking easy at all. But yeah, I'll try my best. That's what I'm saying. It's very important that you subscribe if you watch the channel, but you're not subscribed. Why you not subscribed yet? Tell me why. If you watched a lot of the videos and that, let me know why you're not. But yeah, I'm going to leave you at that. Thanks so much for tuning in today, in today's live stream. If you missed it, the live stream will be available anyway. You can just go back and watch it. Watch it, watch it again. Watch it as a podcast on your way to work or whatever. Just play it, man. Play on YouTube, put it on, listen to it on your way to work or listen to it on your way back home from work. You'll really enjoy it. But that is it, my people. Thank you so much to everyone who contributed in the comments, who asked the question, etc., etc. Thank you so much to everyone who liked as well, who subbed. I really appreciate it. I'll see you back here again next week. You know what? I like the 10 p.m. start, I think I'm going to keep it to 10 p.m. I think when I do a 9 p.m., there's not a lot of people that come on the live stream. But this time, I've done it at 10 p.m. There was way more people because I feel like I have more of a global audience. Like there's more people that watch me outside of the UK, so like the timing, because I know I got people in Australia, America, some people are going to work, some people are going to sleep, is a bit messed up. So I think 10 p.m. I think is actually the correct time. I want to start from 10 p.m. We'll do like an hour, from 10 to like 11 or 10 to half 11 UK time. And then, yeah, we'll call it a day. But thanks so much to everyone who came through. It's me, your boy Enzo, the realest in the game. I'll see you back here next week, Monday, 10 p.m. and you can get involved in the show as well. I'll leave a link in the community post. I'll tell you how you can get involved if you want to jump on the stream and ask questions and talk boxing in general. I'll give you the instructions on how to do it the night before the live stream so you can get your questions ready, etc. But thank you so much, my people. Thank you so much for coming in, for joining me. It's now 12:30 in the morning here in the UK. I'm off. I'm going to go to sleep. I'll go work in the morning. Thank you so much for coming through, man. Thank you, my people. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.